Della exposed me to a lot, and it taught me to always identify myself. What am I at any point in time, according to global standards, and also leverage communities. And I can tell you, this is who I am professionally, and being this means that I do this.
That's like how to present yourself. Is sehr gut.
Nicht so gut, ich lerne nicht so gut.
Aber das ist sehr gut.
Ja?
Ja.
Du auch. Du sprichst sehr gut. They also told us about the houses here, that we should not expect to come and find big apartments like it is back home. Because they've seen our apartments back in Africa, how large it is.
I've not worked with American companies and in Australia.
Yes.
You could be sacked in 10 minutes. But I feel like even though German environment might not be as exciting, it's that safety that comes with it.
Yes.
So
Yes, but in the distant future. But there's also the problem of where would you go to? I like the US, but I'm scared of gun violence.
I've also traveled around so much, and part of the reason I do that is to explore different cities and really see if I could connect to somewhere else. But I don't think I've found that place.
I'm 15 years now when we have our own businesses. Yes, we can play around.
Rugged.
Exactly.
Dami. A girl that when she smiles, she just melts your heart. A very smart lady, a woman in tech, and an all-round it girl. During your work at Andela, is there any experience that you would say that have influenced your journey up to this point?
Yes. It was my first day on the job. My manager at the time said,
Hey guys, welcome back again to another amazing episode. You can always trust me to bring you the best guest. And today I have another amazing guest.
My name is Dami or Lola. My German friends call me Lola because it's easier on the Germans. I am a cybersecurity engineer. I work with SAP. I live in Berlin like Oluchi. I've been here now for 2 years. I am married. I love dancing.
Ooh, I can attest to that. Yes, she can.
That's me in a nutshell.
That's amazing. Now you mentioned that you're a cybersecurity engineer. I'm so curious to get a peek into your journey and see where your journey started and whatever it is that inspired you to get on this journey. So maybe you could start from the earlier days. How did this whole journey started? How did you become a cybersecurity engineer?
So it started way back, and I'm going to start all the way from my primary school days. Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I like when we go back to the beginning.
Specifically, my father's influence. So my dad was he's an agricultural engineer, and he loved his subject mathematics, right? So growing up as young as I can remember, right from when I was in primary 1 days, my dad would always teach me and my younger sister mathematics over the weekends. And you know how our Nigerian parents can be. My dad was very strict. So we would be studying mathematics some days, and we would have to finish all our exercises before we can have our lunch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but anyways, that really made me really interested in the subject, and I really excelled there. So naturally, when I got into secondary school, I was in sciences, and I did even further mathematics, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I also wrote further mathematics in my WAEC and NECO exams and cool.
And you slashed, of course.
Yeah. But interestingly, I wanted to be a doctor, as all other children wanted to be in Nigeria.
But what inspired that?
To be honest, I don't think there was any thought behind
because
it.
Because you were good in sciences.
I don't think there was a thought behind it, to be honest. It's just how it was over the years. You either wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer.
To make your parents proud.
Exactly. So I just wanted to be a doctor. And to be honest, it didn't make sense. Then I got into the university. Before I got in, the usual writing jam. And of course, I chose medicine and I didn't get it. And then one day my dad was talking to me and was like, why don't you do computer engineering? And I was surprised because I thought he would even nudge me towards electrical and electronics. But he encouraged me to do computer engineering. There are computers everywhere, no matter the industry, they are using computers. And I'm like, okay, I will just do it to satisfy him, not to argue.
Yeah.
Yes. But at the time I accepted it, I won't argue with him. I would do it.
Oh.
I would still switch to medicine. I still wanted to switch, but I couldn't switch. So we started. I did computer.
You know how it is, like when you feel like, okay, let me just get started and then I will switch later on, and then you just fell in love with the course.
Exactly, yes. So that was it in my case. And then I started asking myself, why did I even choose medicine in the first place? I do well with physics and STEM subjects. So why was I really stuck on medicine? But so I eventually studied computer engineering, and that's how I got into the tech space. So naturally, when you graduate, you want to work along the lines of what you studied. So that was it for me. And luckily my first role, I got this role called business software analysis.
So after graduation, like between what space of time did you get your first job?
So it was almost like immediately, because I had an uncle. Who had this business, and he was in South Africa, and he was consulting with a company in Abuja, and he needed someone to be available in the office every day for a couple of hours. So I got it through him.
Okay.
I did that for 1 year. The contract didn't continue, so I was out of job for about 4 months. It's a terrible time, because I was always crying all the time applying. Then I got a job in Lagos.
Where were you based at this point?
So my first job was Abuja, but I grew up in Kano.
Okay.
So my parents are still in Kano, so all of this was Kano.
Okay.
From Abuja, I moved to Lagos, did this other job for 1 year, also around business analyst. Then I moved back to Kano. Then I started IT support proper. I was working with a bank, and there I did learn a lot about IT support, because I really worked on hardware support. I was working on the user-facing side. So at most, I would crimp cables, look for where there's a problem on the switch, change cables, basically. Then here I was at this work for about a year and about 6 months, I think. Then I moved to Lagos and joined Andela.
But how did you learn about Andela? Online. That was the same experience. You know, I didn't go to Andela eventually, but I feel like they were a very big part of my journey. Because I went to their boot camp. I didn't join their fellowship, but that was where the journey started for me.
I can imagine.
That's interesting.
Because Andela is quite huge, and they do a lot of tech in Nigeria.
Yeah, at that time, they really made their impact.
Yes, they did. And they made impacts on a lot of people's, like people that worked there. They would always point, well, at least for me, would always point that it was like a life-changing moment.
So it's the awareness for me, like they're exposing tech in Africa. Like I feel like they did a good job there.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, now you got into Andela, and then what happened?
So I was at Andela, also IT support. It was called IT operations, and it was quite interesting, because here also I moved away from just user facing to also administration. So we're administering systems, but Andela was mostly in cloud, so most of our applications were SaaS. Unlike my previous applications, we were on-prem. So we're really working with hardware resources like switches, firewalls, and co. But this one was mostly SaaS. But it was really good, because it did expose me to global trends, global industry standards, you know, different frameworks, getting familiar with what's out there in different domains of IT. So it was really nice. It was a bit challenging at first, but it was nice, and I met my husband there.
Ooh, you see. So it wasn't just the job that you were doing.
No, it wasn't. Andela did a lot in my life.
But I think that was also one thing. I remember then that a lot of people were working from the office. So Andela had a lot of young and ambitious, you know, vibrant youths. So it's only I know so many Andelan people that are married now. Like so many people met their partners there.
Yes, we are plenty.
So Andela wasn't just a tech hub or whatever. They were also into matching.
I know the funny thing. I left Kano. When I decided to start applying for jobs outside Kano, one of my intentions was, okay, it's time to settle down. And there's nothing in Kano in that regard.
So it was a no-brainer.
Exactly. So I had to go to Lagos.
Other people were looking for a job. Now husband should go find
them. We're killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. That's the smart way. That's how we roll. But I'm so excited about your journey. But during your work at Andela, was there any experience that stood out? Is there any experience that you would say that have influenced your journey up to this point?
Yes. The first one was my first day on the job. Actually, I think second day.
I don't know why I'm smiling already. I'm excited to hear.
So You may have noticed now that I smile a lot. And I remember my manager say,
I said it.
yeah, my manager at the time said, this is your smile. Just give you 2 weeks. The last will take the smile away. They will stress you.
I see.
Yeah. I wouldn't be smiling anymore. It's one that when everybody comes in, I say,
I hope that was a joke, right?
No, he was serious, and I actually see why he said so, because it was quite challenging. And the very second day on my job, I came into the office, and then I saw this long Slack message from one of the engineers.
Yeah.
Apparently, the previous day he had password issue. And then I was the only one in the office, and that was like my first day of the job. So I walked him through, you know, and we changed his password. But I made a mistake. Oh. Yes. So, you know, with Mac, when you change your password, you will be prompted by your kitchen to update. Yeah. And we did see that together. And I'm like, okay, just click OK. Actually, he was doing everything. I was just directing him. But I think I missed. I was supposed to click update or something. Anyways, he lost all his passwords in the kitchen. So the next morning, he sent me this long message. And then summary was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's best I don't do anything.
Oh my God.
Instead of, I was crying that morning.
This was your second day at work.
It was my very second day. I was crying.
And you know, when you just join a company, you're still trying to impress.
Exactly, yeah. And that was my first time using a Mac. Before then was Windows. So there was a lot that I needed to level up on. You know, and I was in the tech environment. My previous job, I was working with people that don't know anything about tech. So it was boiling. But these guys,
I know what you mean. You know when they think that you're so smart.
Exactly, you know, local champion. And I was in Kano, and not to offend anybody, there aren't as many tech literates. So I got this long letter, but the good thing is my manager and my colleague Tosin at the time, they took it really lighthearted. They were just smiling that, you've gotten your first love letter. That's how it is here. So that made me feel good. And that's really taught me how to be extra cautious. Like no matter what, even if I know what to do, I would always cross-check with a colleague, at least my first few times. So that was very life-changing for me. It's one of the things that I pick, and I'm still doing it till today. Secondly, would just be Mandela exposed me to a lot, and it taught me to always identify myself. What am I at any point in time? And according to global standards, and also leverage communities. You know, like when because we worked with a lot of vendors, basically, and they would always interact with us because they wanted us to keep coming to them, keep adding more features to our whatever solution we're getting from them. So I learned to really leverage having good relationship with those vendors. That was really helpful for me, especially coming out to the global markets. So those are the two things I would say.
That's very inspiring. With those two lessons, how do you think they prepared you for the journey ahead, the journey after Andela?
Number one thing is always to identify yourself. I would always identify myself. Like at any point in time, I can tell you this is who I am professionally. And being this means that I do this. That's
like how to present yourself.
How to present yourself. Thank you. Like you should have like not necessarily a pitch, but just know yourself.
Because you could like the thing about tech is that like sometimes selling yourself is a skill on its own. It's not just about what you know. You have to also know how to sell yourself.
Exactly. Very
because
important.
You could know all you know, but if someone is interviewing you and you're not able to express what you can do, nobody would get to know.
Yes.
You know, so that was a big one.
Yeah. And not just orally, also writing it down. So basically your CV. And also because in tech, you know, it's very broad. There's a lot. And you find that you are here, you are there, you are there, you are there. And then you need to find... No, it's not really a bad thing. It's just the way tech is. There's a lot of new things coming up. And in IT, because there is the network aspect,
I see what you mean.
The storage aspect, the operational aspects, you touch a lot of aspects. So you need to be able to make everything cohesive in a way that if you have just a few couple of minutes to introduce yourself, you can say something that encompasses everything. Yes.
That's a very good skill to learn. I think it's as important as what you know, to be honest with you. Yeah. That's really cool. But now, after Andela, you moved to Germany.
No.
Oh.
So there was one job role. Yeah, there was one just before I moved to Germany. So I think it's common knowledge. It's pretty out there. So after a while in Andela, I had the pivoted. Exactly, yes. And people were leaving left, right, center. They were sending people. And I started doing the calculation in my head. Because it was always like, they would fire. like huge numbers, 250, you know. Then they will come to the staff and also fire because the user base has reduced. You guys don't have much work again. So they fire. They fired again, engineers again. And I'm like, they will come. So at this time, they had fired my manager. I'm like, they will come to IT, and I had used my brain. We're just two of us in Nigeria, and the other person, Tosin, I really admire her. She's very good. And she's been with the company for a long time. So she has more, not just knowledge, but more
exposure.
And she also owns a lot more than I own. For example, a lot more of our secrets, a lot more of our passwords.
She knows the company.
You know, like login credentials. Yes, tokens. She owns more. If some systems I'm admin, she's super admin. You know, when companies want to fire, they will look at the person that is much more pivotal.
If we
send this person away, not a lot will break. However, this not a lot will break. So
you saw that you were the pawn.
I saw that I could be the next person to go. The only thing that would make it not be me going is if they consider salary. Because she's definitely earning more than me.
That's another
So they will say,
point.
okay, we want things to be cheap, but that would be less likely because if you weigh lower salary, a lot of things breaking. No, let's keep toasting. So I started job hunting. Like before they sent me away, let me leave. And luckily I got this role. I joined them as process automation. At that time in Andela, I had branded myself as SaaS operations. Yes, I wasn't calling myself IT operation. I was a SaaS ops. So I joined this team as process automation because it really tied into how I sold myself about how we automate a lot of things in Angola. So I was doing process automation. So I was with these guys for a year before I moved to Germany. While I was with them, I applied for what brought me to Germany.
So what is it that brought you to Germany?
So at the time, my husband was interviewing with this company in Germany. And he had done first stage, second stage. I think they were like on the third stage. And it was looking like it would happen. And then we were not yet married. But I said...
You were seeing potentials.
Yes. I said, let me too. To avoid stories that touch the heart. Go to Germany and I'll be here. Let me also start looking at Germany. And this is why I talked about leveraging communities earlier on. I was in a lot of community Slack channels. And I was in one for product managers because at the time I was thinking maybe I can move into product management. And somebody advertised this offering in the channel it's called Africa Kommt.
Africa Kommt?
Africa Kommt. It comes in German. Which means Africa is coming.
I see.
So they advertised it and I opened it and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. Okay. I saw that it was going to be a 1-year program. You get to work with one of many of the companies in their portfolio. You get to select the profile you want. And I saw SAP there and I'm like, okay, this is like the next place to go to regarding my profession. So I decided I would apply and I sent it. I think I started working on the application, I think about 9 p.m. and I finished around 5 a.m. because it was closing the next day. I just sent it out that night. And a few weeks later, I was invited for interview. It was called Assessment Center. It was like 4 days activity. We had to prepare a presentation on something called the change initiative, something you want to change in either your community or your company or your country. So you think of something you want to change and then you outline what you need. So they gave you points to consider. What is the problem? How can you solve it? What solutions would you solve it? So they give guiding questions to prepare your presentation. So we had to present that individually to a panel, and then we also had to do group exercise. I learned it's something common here in Germany. Group exercise where they would present you a group of you, maybe about 4 of you, with a very ambiguous topic. Like when I read they present a passage to you. Very ambiguous, very vague. Like, what's this about? Or something about agriculture, a specific species of fish. And you have just like how many minutes? I can't remember. I think 3 minutes or so to read and comprehend. And then they leave you and the group to discuss.
And they're watching you as you're discussing.
Exactly. You make your point and then at the end you guys present. what you have done. So we did that one. And then, of course, we did the interview with the company of choice that is selected.
Okay.
The good thing is they will ask you to select 2 profiles. Sorry, I forgot to give an overview of what the program is. It's a German initiative, actually the German government initiative. And they partner with enterprise companies in Germany. So think of very old enterprise companies like SAP. SAP's, I learned it's not even that old.
Yeah.
Compared to Bayer. Yeah, B Brown, those guys are like 150 years, 250 years old. So like Bayer, B Brown, which other one, Merck, SAP, a couple of them. And the company would advertise through the program specific profiles that they want to take in Africa candidates for. It's open to about 6 African countries like Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, a couple more, Uganda, Zimbabwe.
Sorry, was it more of a African development program, or was it like to tap into the African resource and, maybe like, was it to bring people over here or to come and develop people and send them back to their communities?
Yep. Develop, so it's like African development, but they didn't PR it that way. They called it exchange, where you and I know.
Okay, yeah.
So the goal is to bridge the gap between the African and the German market. That's the advertised goal. And it's limited. You come in for 1 year and you go. In fact, when you come, you are presented with your return ticket. So you know the date you are leaving.
So
yes, like, and it's immediately that date.
But is there plans to like, so because now when you come to learn whatever you've learned, you need support to be able to like, go and, there is support for when you go back to your homeland?
Oh no.
So the knowledge you've gathered, what are you supposed to do with it?
You go back and use it in your country.
You can't present it.
Actually, it's very unfair in that regard because you step away from your life. So most of us quit our jobs to go. People had families that they left. And then you just have to go back.
Yeah.
That aspect is very unfair. We had raised it as a feedback, and I think you're working on helping people integrate when they go back. So far, nothing has happened.
Okay. Fingers crossed something happens.
I hope so, because most of us, we come and we don't want to go back. So we make sure we stay. We get jobs and stay. But some of us weren't so lucky. They had to go back.
So is this program still running now?
Yep. Every year.
Okay. Maybe like you could share the link with me. I could put it on the screen for anybody who is interested in exploring that route. Yeah.
I would share. It's a really good program. Once you get in, you come into Germany in November. It's always the same, November. And you got in congratulations message since July. So you have enough time to prepare. Before coming, they would ask all of us to start German language. And we'd all channel it in groups like different countries with Gothe. So we started, those of us in Nigeria actually started online in Nigeria before we moved to Germany.
So German ist sehr gut.
Nicht so gut, ich lerne. Nicht so gut.
Aber das ist sehr gut.
Ja? Du auch. Du sprichst really sehr gut. So, but we're learning Nigeria was nothing. We didn't learn anything. We had this, it was a Nigerian tutor that wasn't very serious. But back to the program. So once you come in November, they'll take care of everything, every single penny. They asked us to apply online, but we got emails for appointment, like come for appointment so day, because it's German government. So we didn't have to go through the whole huddle. And then they paid for everything. I only paid for COVID test at the time. It was 50,000, but when we got there, they gave us back. So I didn't spend anything. And then when you come in, they will take care of your accommodation, your transportation. They give you stipend. They take care, they help you settle in. They help us open our bank account. They help us register the city and melding, city registration. They did everything for us. We were enrolled in physical German classes for, was a total of 3 months intensive. But we're doing other things besides the German language. We're also doing management training. The most open to people who had at least 5 years experience. Now it's been reduced to 3 years experience, so there's more chances for you. By the time 5 years experience, we are expected to have had some form of experience. So we had a lot of trainings regarding management, leadership, owning things. And that also really exposed us to how Germans do their things, exposed us to how they approach learning, how they work. Before we arrived, we had done a couple of orientations to tell us how Germans are, to prepare us that when you say hello and they don't respond,
I think
don't
that is
feel
something I would
offended.
have needed, honestly.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Because we all do stuff like that. So when we arrived, we're like, oh, okay,
You were not
surprised. Yes,
That's
so there was a
nice.
lot of orientation before coming.
What we are curious to know, like, what were some of the teas they spilled?
They told us that Germans stare a lot.
Ooh, I concur.
Yes,
I
yes,
agree.
I was surprised too. So we shouldn't feel offended because we're all Africans. So they had to,
Because they're
talk
saying
about that topic.
something that they are like curious, you know.
Yes, and the organizers have been to some of the African countries.
And that was the same reaction they probably got. Yeah.
Yes. They also told us about the houses here, that we should not expect to come and find big apartments like it is back home. Because they've seen our apartments back in Africa, how large it is, lots of
They're
windows.
massive,
But they told us here it's really small. So prepare yourself. But we all had our apartments to ourselves. I think those were like the three major things. You say hello, they don't respond, everyone is grumpy, they stare a lot, and they
tend to, like, when Germans are talking about Germans, they tend to speak like that. They'll be like, Germans, oh God.
Oh yes, that's something I actually really like about them. They own up to the fact that we are not so nice people. They will tell you upfront, it's nothing personal, we're just like that. Yes. I think
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the story. Continue on the story. So now you got into the program proper.
So, like I said, so you also have the opportunity to select 2 different roles. And most people select different companies just to improve your chances. For me, I selected on SAP because SAP was the only tech role. They're also quite heavy on pharmaceutical roles, but they do cover a wide area of roles. So not only tech, there's a lot of health folks, and also a lot of HR folks, business marketing folks. So I chose both roles. SAP, one of them was in IT, but the role description was a bit vague, so I didn't know what exactly. It sounded like product management, but the department was IT, so I chose that. The other one was legit, I think it was customer support something, I can't remember. So I chose those, and I was interviewed on those 2 roles, and I got in for the one with IT. So I came into the program. Like I said, the first 3 months we were in Bonn, in Germany, in Bonn. It was a very nice city. We were there, we did the language, we did some management trainings. It was very hectic. Germans, when they have any sort of learning program or any sort of conference, I've noticed if you have to go for some sort of maybe conference a week, 2 weeks, and involves learning, they would use the end every second. You would start very early. They would give your schedule before you get there, and every time of the day there is something you're doing. So it was very stressful for us, really. We had a lot of group exercises. We had these management trainings. We also did some group presentations about our countries, where we came from. We also did this presentation about something in Germany.
I hope you guys said something nice.
Oh, of course. Trust us. We know they carry last. We also did something about Germany. You would learn something and present. It was a lot, but it was quite nice. And then after the 3 months, you move on to your company, the one you applied for, to go do 8 months with them. After that 8 months, we all come back to Berlin for 1 month. And after the last day of the activity, the next day, you go back home. It bothers
me that people leave what they were doing previously behind to do this program, and they are exposed to this level of comfort, you know. And then they go back without any support to like practice whatever they've learned.
There were some of us that actually wanted to go back. Wanted to, and they maintained and they went back. I could not understand it. But like South Africans, you know, their living conditions are way better than Nigerians. But all of us Nigerians, we wanted to, we was going back way. We were all staying. We will find how we will stay. So we moved to our companies. I went to Waldorf. All of us in SAP went to Waldorf. Waldorf is somewhere southern Germany, not far from Mannheim or Heidelberg.
In which state is it?
It's in Baden-Württemberg. SAP's headquarters is in Waldorf. So that was why we were in Waldorf. So I was in Waldorf for 8 months with the role. It was very wonky. So my previous role before I joined the team was process automations, right? I would automate some processes. I didn't code. I could write some JSON files, some YAML files, some configurations. I could sometimes speak a simple script and just tweak it to fit some simple maybe scripts in JavaScript or Python, nothing too complicated. And I will pick what is existing and just tweak the inputs to what I want, because we were integrating a lot of systems to make a continuous end-to-end process. So I guess when I joined the company in Germany, they expected that I had maybe coding experience or something similar. But thankfully, I was very honest. That's one advice I would give with German companies. Be very authentic and be very honest. I was very honest. I wasn't a developer and I wanted to grow in security. So my first day on the job, introduced me to a team of developers, and they said I'll be working with the developers, and I'm like, oh my god, where do I start from? And they were going to use this new tool called Cloud Application Programming. It's actually a programming framework in SAP. And they told me that it's similar to the platforms I'm familiar with, like Zapier and Integromat. Those were platforms used to integrate different systems and create automated processes. So I thought, okay, but then I started and I saw that, no, I have to go learn JavaScript. So I had to speak up after about 2 weeks. I remember then I'll call my husband back home. I don't know what I'm doing here. I would be crying. Where do I start from? I don't want to be a developer.
So you eventually moved before your husband?
Yes. He didn't get that job. Unfortunately. He didn't, which was funny. I got mine. Yeah. He didn't. But interestingly, by December, he got another job. Yeah. The program would not allow you to come with family. That's one caveat.
Because, of course, they were not planning for you to stay back.
Yeah. We had people that left children. You can't even come with your kids. Yeah, so I spoke up with the team that I can keep learning. I'm happy to, but I would never be efficient in the short time that I have to work with you guys. 8 months. So I would rather do something else. I picked... They were working on test strategy, incorporating testing in their programming. So I said, how about I explore here? And I started working with them. But then I started meeting with other team members. And eventually I was given the role of a product owner for a new product that they were trying to develop. So I became a product owner. But my manager encouraged me to explore any opportunity in SAP, like shadowing opportunity, because they felt bad that they could not satisfy my need to explore security, which was what I said I really wanted. Yeah. So I started exploring within SAP, and I got this fellowship within a fellowship, this 6 months SAP fellowship for a security role in another department. Okay. So I was doing those two.
Oh, nice.
And that was where I got my first security experience. So by midway through the program, by June, July, we've all started applying. Those of us that wanted to stay, we've all started dusted our CV. This is where we are. And we're all applying. Everybody was applying. Anytime we meet each other anyway, we're all talking about applications, sharing tips. It was a really nice community, sort of, because we all came from Africa. We all did things together. We had the same pain, the same issues we're having at our jobs, because we had a lot of challenges. We're all having it. So we're just close-knit family. So whenever we see each other, we would give tips. You should do this. You should use a CV template. Try this. I found this. It was really beautiful. So, of course, I applied, and I wanted to stay at SAP. I didn't want to go anywhere else. After a while, I started applying elsewhere. Yeah. But I was still heavily applying for SAP, and thankfully, I got a job still in SAP. And that is my current role.
You have to just be their ambassador at some point. So how did you then progress into now becoming a cloud engineer?
Yes. Yeah. So I will say we have started with cloud right from Andela, because Andela is heavy on cloud. We had some on-premise systems because we had a network engineer. Also, we had like some firewalls and switches, but we're really heavy on SaaS. Unlike what most companies would do, their network solutions is all hardware, their storage hardware. They would have servers, they would have hypervisors, everything there. And then I think it was only the network, and also our physical security. The solution was also on-prem, but every other thing was cloud. So our identity access management solution was on cloud. Everything else was on cloud. So I'd say I started cloud from Andela. And after that, every other thing else was cloud, to be honest. Like, it's really rare to find companies that are using on-premise, except banks. Some SAP. SAP also has a lot of on-prem solutions, but I'm not doing anything there right now. So previously, I've always been on the SaaS application layer, right? Yes. Now I'm like underneath layer. Well, not underneath. Underneath is physical, so your data centers. I am what goes on top of the data centers infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
So my current team is the private cloud infrastructure of SAP. And what that means is that we have our own infrastructure, something like AWS and Azure. We have our own private. Obviously, we start with the hypervisors, then we build a Kubernetes layer on top, and then we use this services called OpenStack. We use it to manage the different resources. So that's where I am right now, and I'm working as cybersecurity specialist in that area.
You sound like you're really enjoying whatever it is you're doing now. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I saw that you recently went to the US. When you compare the experience there versus the experience living in Berlin, how would you compare both of them?
It was very different. So I was in a town called San Ramon in San Francisco. First thing I noticed is it did feel like home a bit, in the sense that the whole serene, the whole environment isn't that structured.
Yeah. Was it the chaos that made it feel like home?
No, it wasn't. It was also not chaotic, because San Ramon felt like one of those small states in Nigeria, like Akure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was actually a very quiet state. I was surprised, like, I'm in America, so America can be this quiet, because that was my first time in the US. So it was a quiet town. So you would find a lot of serene grasses, trees, and then you find a home with huge compound, no specific structure. It could be facing the road, it could be facing, like Dami, everything was the same size everywhere, That was really nice for me to see. It may not make sense, but it just felt somehow like home, and I actually liked it. It just, you have some sense of freedom compared to here. Here can be a bit restrictive, because you are aware that there are a lot of rules. I'm scared. I don't want to break any rules. I don't. The language as well. Oh, of course, the language. There, everything is English. No stress, no problem. I don't have to start figuring out.
I guess they would have been warm. Americans are so warm.
Oh, yes.
So nice. Yeah.
Yes, everyone seems to be happy. Yes. So that was like the biggest thing. And the weather was bright. I was there during spring. So it was really nice. And if I can talk a little bit about the work, the atmosphere.
The work atmosphere,
it was warmer.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. Maybe it was because of the program that I went for. But again, the program is based on in the US, so it makes sense that you find such programs in the US. It was within SAP. And the fact that it was the same company just brought out the difference glaringly for me. There was a lean more towards human nature, the human aspect. It was a program for engineers, including developers, architects, cybersecurity folks, product specialists. It was called AI for Good. So we're going to explore, we're going to talk heavily about AI. We would have a lot of lectures from prominent folks in the industry. I was in San Francisco, which is Silicon Valley. So it was heavily about tech. In Germany here working, because here I also work with a lot of engineers, similar to Andela, because Andela worked with engineers, and they're very mechanical. People would literally tell you that doesn't make sense, as opposed to saying
exploring it.
Like, how about this? They would literally tell your face that doesn't make sense. So I'm very grateful. I have a really good manager and a really good team. We're international, but we work with a lot of engineers, and it's very mechanical. So that was one thing that I noticed immediately in the US. It's just this more human touch to work environment. It was really nice.
I think I absolutely understand what you mean, because before my current company, I've mostly worked with American companies and in Australia. And the American companies are so... You feel more connected to, like, in the workspace, because everybody are just like... I don't think I have the word, but like the environment is much more warm. But at the same time, the disadvantage that is that that's the same way they move, like with layoffs, and they could hire you in 1 week and then you could be sacked in 10 minutes. But I feel like even though German environment might not be as exciting, there is that safety that comes with it. So at least we have that.
Because was it early 2023, SAP also did, when companies were doing massive
Every
layoffs.
company were doing it.
And SAP did like immediately in Canada, in US, but in Germany, nope. You know what they did? They introduced early retirement. and ask people, please come and go. If you are eligible,
Yes.
please come and go. But they did not send anybody away. So yes,
Yeah.
I agree. And if you weigh those two options, especially at this point of our careers,
that safety is more important, to be honest.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10, 15 years time when we have our own businesses, yes, we can play around.
Rugged.
Exactly. But now, yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the experience you had in US, the excitement, the warmness of the people, like the environment, when you compare it to Germany, would you ever consider moving?
Let's see. I have definitely thought about living in Germany, but not because of work, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like not even just work, but the environment in general.
Oh yes. Yes, but in the distant future. But there's also the problem of where would you go to? I like the US, but I'm scared of the gun violence in the US.
I know. This is the same thing I've been thinking about because like I've also like traveled around so much, and part of the reason I do that is to like explore like different cities and really see if I could connect to somewhere else. But I don't think I've found that place. I'm trying my best to make Berlin a home, but I feel like somehow, somewhere deep down in my mind, I'm still like open to trying something new.
I know. I think most of us have that, to be honest. Yeah. Like we all know that at some point, maybe distant future, we would explore somewhere else. It is difficult to find that somewhere else now because Germany does have a lot of advantage, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So you just hold on to that.
Yeah, we hold on to it for now, to be honest.
Going through all your career journey so far, what is the biggest challenge you've encountered and what are you most proud of?
But the really recent and most challenging was moving to Germany, to be honest. Yes, the work culture was difficult, and I was in a new environment. And sometimes I would find that when I'm communicating, I don't know if the problem was that they didn't understand what I was trying to say, or I wasn't communicating properly, or is it my accent? But you understand the feeling at the time. When you're sitting back on your own reflecting, you wonder what could be the problem.
Yeah, true.
So that was the biggest challenge, really, navigating around work, what you want to do. And because you are owning a specific topic, you really need to collaborate. First of all, understand the problem. So you have to speak with a lot of folks, understand how you would approach it. Something as simple as, how do I want to gather the resources, everything, the information I've gathered so far, how do I want to? Something as simple as that. You have to do that by yourself. As opposed to like in Nigeria, you would already know that this is what you do. They will tell you, do this here, do this here, do this here. Here, you have the flexibility to do it how you want. It's good. But coming from a different environment, it just threw me off a little bit, and it was a bit difficult because I was always questioning, is this how they do it in Germany? I hope I'm doing it properly. And then you're asking, and then you don't want to keep asking all the time for feedback because you are worried that you'll be perceived as you don't know anything.
Because you're hired because you have
Exactly, yes. So there's a thin line. You don't ask much. You want to keep up your reputation. So that was like the biggest challenge. And I also found that when I moved into my new role, even though at the time, there was just one person younger than me, but I was the youngest. Like my teammates, most of them 25 years experience in SCP. I work with older colleagues. That made the environment quite warm because most old folks are very humble compared to young folks. We want to show ourselves.
I know what you mean.
Yes. So I really love my team. It's a nice environment. But I also did have that challenge. But at this point, I was already familiar that that's how Germans work. And I did actually respect or appreciated the fact that my manager allowed me to figure out things for myself and approach topics the way I wanted to. So one big thing, that's one thing I will say to anybody coming to Germany. You will own your topic, whatever your role is. In most companies, you'll be expected to own the problem. No one will tell you, do like this, do this, do this task, do that task. Some companies actually do that, but the majority of them, this is our problem. This is where we were. This is what you need to do. Then you start figuring it out. And then you do it. That was the biggest challenge. And on the flip side, I can actually say that's one of the things I'm proud of, to be honest.
Great, because like learning that, going through that process and eventually figuring it out.
Exactly. And eventually owning a topic area. And then collaborating with a lot of folks to own that topic area and have some form of authority in that topic area such that when you say something, the legit,
you feel relevant.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Anyways, like we've been spilling a lot of teas, so let's now play a quick game.
Okay.
Just so that the video doesn't get too long.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to be asking you some fun questions, and you're going to be giving me a very fast answer, very short, fast answer.
Okay. Short and crisp. All right.
So, what is one German word that you like saying, even though you don't really have to?
Oh, it's genau. Very easy. Genau.
Exactly.
Yeah, genau.
That's nice. But I think my own is like fish.
Vielleicht, yes. Vielleicht actually makes it sound like,
Yeah.
oh, you know a lot of German language. Vielleicht that.
Yeah, okay. What is one thing people would be very surprised to learn about you?
I think it would be that I can be very reserved. I have this atmosphere, this air of I am outgoing because I love to dance and I smile a lot.
Yeah.
And then people think naturally I'm very outgoing, but
Yeah.
no, that's not true. My husband always says I scammed him because he's very reserved, very quiet, and he
And
would
he married
always
you
say
to balance you.
exactly. So he said in Andela the first time he saw me like, this one is always smiling. Should be good for my life. And he said I scammed him.
And now you're stuck in the house together. That's a good one. So, what is the most unexpected thing you've grown to love since moving abroad?
Plants.
I know,
Yes, I did not expect it. Our first apartment was a furnished apartment here in Berlin, and there were lots of plants. And I thought they would all die, but I actually did well. None of them died, and they were in every room, like our bedroom, toilets, kitchen. There were plants everywhere. So of course, when we moved to our place, I continued. So yeah.
Yeah, I have only plastic plants. My first plants died.
Actually, that is one thing. That question you asked previously, what are you proud of?
Yes.
It has to be the plants.
Are you not shaming me or what?
I don't know, I'm sorry, but I'm proud that I didn't kill my own plants.
Oh my god. Yeah, so what's your most used emoji right now?
It's always the smiling emoji, the one with the rosy cheeks. Yes,
Yeah.
it's always that one.
Yeah. What is one song that never fails to lift your mood?
This is a difficult question.
So there are so many of them.
Yes, I'm not very loyal when it comes to.
So you go with the moment. So you have like different songs for different feelings. So
Yes. For me, music for me is more about the sound.
Yeah.
So it could be anything really.
So if you could invite one person, dead or alive, to dinner, who would it be and why?
See, the first answer that came to my mind is my husband. I was just thinking, wait,
Yeah.
is there anyone else? If I could invite anyone to dinner,
Is
then
it how
I'm
much
like,
you love him?
no, wait. I think I'll invite my mom or my immediate sister just because I miss
You're with your
them.
husband already, and you
Yes.
still want to invite him
You're
to...
right. I wasn't thinking. It's either my mom or my immediate sister.
Okay, you're very close to them.
Yes.
That's really nice. What was your nickname growing up?
When I was in secondary school, they used to call me bouncing girl.
Bouncing girl. So you started dancing like way back.
No, it wasn't because of the dancing, but yes, I
Okay.
was dancing in secondary school. Yes, I joined a lot of school clubs just because of the dancing.
Nice.
But I was called bouncing girl because then I used to bounce. My heels don't
Like a
touch.
tomboy or what?
Oh, actually, I
Oh,
used to be a
okay.
tomboy, all while in Andelites. After
Yeah.
I met my husband, and
That
I
you became a girl.
started to feel, he did make me feel.
Thanks a lot, Fee, for converting her. We need more girls in the community.
He was the first person to start making me feel ladylike, like, oh, okay, I'm a fine girl. Oh, I'm a girl, all right. But yeah, that's how I walk. My heels didn't used to touch the ground, and so I was being called bouncing girl. And I think after a while, I started making conscious effort to make sure I'm stepping my heels.
So you were like
Or
walking
something.
on your
Yes, like I'm
toes?
literally.
Ooh,
Yes.
interesting. So if you could swap lives with anyone for one day, who would it be and why?
It's Rihanna. Just remember that it's Rihanna. It's my Madam Rihanna.
Why?
Oh, I love Rihanna. I've loved Rihanna from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And year in, year out, I just keep
Yeah.
having reasons to love her. I started doing
Her expressivity and her
Exactly.
likability and all
Yes,
of that.
and also her business acumen. You see,
Yeah.
she went into her Fenty business, and then the way she exhibits her business every year, it's become like a yearly seasonal production that you'd expect on Prime. I look forward to it every year, Fenty show. I really admire her every year. Now she has met the impregnator.
Yeah. And she's so humble as well and so sweet.
Yeah, she's so
and,
down to earth.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I really love her.
I see why you would want to be her. But better stay you. So what is one random little thing that makes you unreasonably happy? Something that when you have or you remember, you like chuckle and just feel so happy.
Music makes me happy.
Yeah.
No, loud music, not just music. Loud
I know.
music. Yes.
You're into Afrobeat.
Of course.
Of course.
Afrobeat, I'm a piano, hip hop. Sometimes I'll play around with R&B. One time when I was in university, my early years, I used to write a lot
you
before.
write songs?
Yeah, not songs, no. Put things down, starting from the days of diaries, and then sometimes I just write about my experiences, so how I make sense of things that happen.
Yeah.
And I once wrote about music, and now music does influence me physically or emotionally. I really love music, and music is one thing, and especially loud music. No matter what it is I'm going through, if you give me
just
loud
pause
music
it and be in the moment.
Yes, loud music. I forget everything. I'll be dancing.
I feel like I'm a bit like that because
Right?
sometimes, like when I have friends who, like, when they are taking a walk, they will like put on their headphone or earpiece and be vibing to music. It can't be me, and you know why? Because I can't just I can't be hearing music and not like shake my body. So I can't be walking on the street and I'm like be dancing. So even when I wear it, I try to just put it in one ear.
Okay.
Because I could be blocking the bike track or somebody could come
in
behind
Germany
me.
here. Yes, I find that when I move to Germany here, I can't listen to music on the road because you never know what rules you are breaking.
Yeah. So the last but not the least.
Okay.
What is the best compliment you've ever received from anybody?
I can't remember a specific one, but one compliment that always makes me feel good when I get it is when someone tells me that I appear confident.
Oh, yeah.
I always like hearing that because deep down I never feel confident.
Yes.
So when someone says, "Oh, you're very confident," I feel very happy. Like, yes. Thank God.
Finally showing.
Yes, I'm projecting. They don't see that I'm not. Yeah, that's one thing I always like.
That's interesting.
Hearing.
That's really nice. But I think you are confident.
Thank you.
I think you're a mix of sweet and intentional and confident and all the good stuff, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Want to be like folks like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think for me that I've gotten a lot of nice compliments from people, but the one that stands out for me is something that my mom told me years back. This is way more than 10 years. This was actually when I was in secondary school, in my my SS2.
I'm curious.
So I had done something like I was so proud of my parents, the way they sent us to the best schools. They were doing all they could. All this money you get from going for Christmas visit, and I used to compile my money. So one time I told my parents that I wanted to pay my school fees by myself. I wanted to surprise them. And our school fees was very expensive at this time.
The fact that you you were just thinking about it at that age is very admirable.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So and I did pay my school fees.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
And they were so proud of me. And my mom.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I remember my mom telling me that one of the reasons she likes me, she adores me, by the way. She really loves me. I know. But she now told me that one of the reasons she loves me is because she feels like I can survive anywhere I find myself. That has stuck with me. Like, no matter what, I feel like my mind just goes back to that, and I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. You can
get through stuff. That was really nice to hear, because also when you're feeling down, you just remember that.
Exactly. And then you just okay, just know that you can fail, basically. I don't think she knows that she said it, but it's stuck here.
Oh, she probably doesn't remember. Oh, it's been nice to give her that, to tell her one day.
Yeah, maybe I will. I will tell her when I call her next.
Are you the first?
But no, I'm almost the last. So amazing having this conversation with you, Dami.
So I enjoyed myself.
And thanks a lot for coming on our podcast. And for those people who were tuning in, I hope you really enjoyed the conversation as much as you
did.
So please drop your comments in the comment section, engage with us, share with your friends as well, so that they can learn one or two things. Or send it to somebody who might be interested in exploring the program that she has done, that has led her to where she is today. And don't forget to like and do all the needful. Turn on your notification bell.
Yes, please do all the needful. Follow my babes. Follow her. Do everything. You would never be bored. You'd always find relatable content that you'd learn from.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for having me, Oluchi.
You're welcome.
Thanks everyone for staying to the end. We hope you really enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And we wish you a pleasant rest of the day, week, and see you next time.
See you guys. Bye, guys.